Hey guys, my name's Greg Lettery. Come with me, this is gonna be a good time. Oh my God. I don't know what that means, but cheers. Delicious. My name's Greg Lettery, and here we are in downtown Poughkeepsie. Just 2 seconds off of Main Street. In 1971, we have Milanese Restaurant. What's cool about this place and why I'm bringing you here is they have passed the test of time. And we're gonna go in today, we're gonna talk to my dear friend, chef, part owner, Alasandro Milanese. Come with me, this is gonna be a good time. Lester,
hey,
¿cómo está? How are you, my friend?
Very good.
It's great to see you. Listen, is Alasandro around today?
Yes, he's right.
Does he got a table for lunch?
Absolutely.
He's sitting in his usual area?
That's right.
Lead me to it, I'm starving.
Right now.
All right, thank you, my friend. All right, where is this guy?
Yes,
There he
oh,
is. Hey, Lester. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. How you been, bro? How's everything, all right?
Good.
You got any extra vino for me,
I got extra wine, I got extra.
All right.
I always make extra in case somebody stops by and says hello.
I like that, I like that. So listen, I don't want to interrupt your lunch, but I know you got enough for me because I'm starving too. So we're here at your place. 1971, this place started.
Yeah. Yep.
Did you think for a second, at the age of 12, when you were back there frying calamari, that you would still be in this place?
Probably, yeah, I think so.
Oh my God, you are old school, aren't you?
Yeah, I am old school.
Are you out of your mind? You kidding me?
Yeah.
I would have ran to the hills, brother.
Nah.
What I enjoy about this restaurant is that back in the 70s and the 80s, this Italian-American theme came out. And everybody thought that you had to be marsala, Frances, veal scallopini, things of that nature, which is dear to your heart. And you still have to stay true to those because that was your original client base. The chicken parms, the veal parms pounded out perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I know that you kind of took that menu and now you're adding and creating maybe a risotto dish with different things because you know now everybody's on this risotto kick, the truffle oil, mushroom.
Right.
I mean, now what have you done with that menu? Do you offer anything different than that old school New York style Italian theme?
Yes. We always stay true to the traditional Italian dinners like lasagna. We still make our own lasagna. We still make our own manigotti, cannellonis.
Perfect.
Once in a while, we'll make our special ravioli, a mushroom ravioli, or a lobster ravioli from scratch.
Perfect.
Right. But like you said, we experiment a little bit.
Stop.
Just give me great tomato sauce, which starts with great good tomatoes. You can't
Which are
get.
your favorites?
What do you mean?
Tomatoes. What are your favorite tomatoes?
The San Marzanos.
I give you one of them for that. It's not something that you have to bubble down for 3 hours.
Right.
I mean, they cook very rapidly for the most part. And, you know, in an hour, you have a fantastic marinara, which, you know, here we talk about marinaras. Technically, if you go to Europe, a marinara sauce comes from the sea, marinara.
Right, exactly.
You know, this is a marine, you know, from the sea.
Exactly.
So when the Europeans come here, and to us, we always say marinara, and which is quite funny because that means with no meat, so we think. But in Europe, marinara means with seafood. But for whatever reason, that's what we all know by, so that's what we go by.
Right.
So you know what? I'm gonna tell you, you just reminded me about something. The two of us talking just now, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna make a San Marzano tomato marinara sauce. But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make it a true marinara sauce. I'm gonna put some lobsters in it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Absolutely.
We're gonna pick up some whole lobsters. We're gonna cut them up. We're gonna saute them up with some garlic before we add our tomatoes. And then we're gonna let that bubble down for about an hour. What do you think about that?
I think that sounds good.
All right, listen, I gotta get home and get going now, okay?
All right, man.
It's great talking with
good
you
talking
as
to you,
always,
too.
my friend. Maybe I'll see you in the morning.
All
okay?
right, absolutely.
Okay, take care, brother.
See ya.
Hey guys, I'm Greg Lettery. Welcome to this edition of Sunday Rustic Style. Now, earlier today, I was at Milanese Restaurant, and Alasandro, the chef and part owner, him and I sat down and had a fantastic conversation. And at the end of our conversation, we discussed a marinara sauce. So today, what we're gonna do is, we are going to make a pasta dish. I have Lucy and Larry. We're gonna cook them up with some San Marzano tomatoes. We're gonna use a touch of garlic. We're gonna use some olive oil, a hint of white wine, and some linguine today. Now, as that goes down, we're also gonna make the most simple and delicious clam dish. Let's start off with this lobster macaroni dish. Now, these are obviously live, pound and a quarter, lobsters. What we're gonna do here is, we're gonna put a knife through them. Now, this is very simple to do. And I know a lot of people scream about this. They don't like to kill these live things. They just want to put them in a pot of boiling water because you put them in, you walk away. Well, we're going to physically kill these fellas. And it's okay, because you know what? I'm starving for these things, and they're going to be delicious. So what you want to do is you want to take your knife, and in the stomach cavity, right about here, you see right here, you're going to go in with your knife. They're going to wiggle a little bit. That's okay. And then you're going to come down, flip down the tail, and come down like this. Okay, that's it. This guy is done. That's okay. It's no problem. It was quick. It was painless. There's nothing to worry about here. Now, on the inside of this, you see we have some of this nonsense here. This green bit. I don't even know what they call this. I know there's a name for it, but I don't want it. Now, my wife, what she'll do is, she takes this, she licks it up like crazy. Me, I don't eat it. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put all that to the side. Now this, I'm going to do the same thing to the other fella here, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this green stuff and I'm going to get rid of it. I don't want it on my cutting board. I don't even want to look at it. I got to tell you, I don't know how my wife eats it, but that's okay. They say it's quite delicious. I don't know. So now with this here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that one off. No problem. Right here. And this arm right here, bang. Give it a little chop. No problem. I'm going to dissect this tail. No problem. Just like that. So now you got that guy, and this I'm going to leave just like that. And continue to do this with the two that you have. On this dish, we're only going to use two. So these are our 2 pound and a quarter lobsters. They're cut up into quarters for the most part. And now we're going to get our pan good and hot. It should be close to good and hot now. Let's get going. Give it a little feel like this, okay? And this is good. So now what we do is we want olive oil in this dish. As you know by now, I generally always cook with olive oil. So what we're going to do is we're going to put into this pan a nice glaze on the bottom. I'll let you guys see how much olive oil I'm using. Now, I don't know what I say. This is about a half a quarter cup or so. Maybe a little more, a little less. I don't know. I glaze the bottom, then add a little bit more, okay? So this is nice and hot. At this point, we're going to add our lobsters, okay? Now, there's no rhyme or reason to this. Throw them in. They're going to sizzle. They're going to go crazy. That's great. This is what we want on this dish. Because, guys, don't forget, this is Sunday rustic style at its best, okay? Now, it's at this point that we're going to add our garlic. Now, as you guys know, I don't like burnt garlic. I always put my garlic in a little bit after we start sauteing something. That's how we do it in this house. And my wife, what she does is she buys the whole clove of garlic, like a box of them, like a pound of them, and then she brings them home. And then what I do is I put them in a blender, get them chopped up, and then we add olive oil to them and put them in a container just like this. And you know what? When you do something like this, these bits of garlic will last you much longer than if you keep them whole. So believe me, this is the way to go. So into this dish now, what we're going to do is we're going to add, I'm going to say, that's a clove and a half and a clove and a half. So we're going to say 3 cloves, and you know what? I like a little bit of garlic in this. We're going to say 4 cloves, just to be on the safe side. Okay, now, we're going to give this a little stir here. And this is popping and bubbling, and things are flying. This is great. Oh, my God, immediately, the second I start stirring this up, you can smell that the garlic, it hits the lobster in such a way that The air just is fantastic. So what we're gonna do here now is we're just gonna give these a quick saute. Just for a second. See, they're already turning pink. If you can see, it didn't take much time. They have their a little bit of the natural color here, but then they start to turn pink. That means they're cooking. It's at this point I'm gonna add my white wine. Now, the white wine here is no fancy wine. You wanna use fancy wine in this dish, knock yourself out. Not me. But here, let me show you how much we're gonna add into this dish now. We're gonna go bloop, bloop, bloop. Let it flame. That's okay. Just make sure your face isn't in front of it. It's okay if it flames. We like that. Okay? Let that go down just a hair. And then what I'm going to do is go bloop, bloop. Okay? So 3 bloops and a bloop. 2 bloops. No problem. We're going to put that right over there for now. So now what I'm going to show you how to do is we're going to use San Marzano tomatoes. I've said this in the past. Those that know me know that San Marzano tomatoes to me are the best. They're the sweetest. They're grown in the volcanic regions in Italy, and they don't really need to cook down as long as other tomatoes because of how sweet they are. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna use 1, and I'm gonna use 1.5 in this dish, okay? I'm gonna show you how I want this done. I'm not just gonna go in there, bum, bum, bum. All this juice will fly everywhere, and I don't want that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go in very softly, put your thumb through each one and give it a little toss like this. That's all right. This is rough. I don't want anything professional here. This is Sunday. Who cares? It don't matter. Each one, put my thumb in, give it a little twist, give it a little twirl, and that's the end of it, like this. Okay? So it's at this point now we're going to add this to our dish. Give this a quick toss. Now, we're going to add that in just like that, okay? That looks fantastic. Now, what I'm going to do is, what you want to do is, you want to add just about as much water as tomatoes to this dish. That's how canned tomatoes work. So now what I'm going to do is, we're going to fill this bowl up a little bit and add some liquid. We're going to just rinse out the bowl, okay? And then I'm going to put in some water. As much as about the tomatoes work. I think we were up to about that line. It don't have to be professional. We just go like that, okay? And then we're gonna add the water in. Now, again, you stop halfway. You look in there. Twist up these little bits of tomatoes here. No problem, no big deal. Go like that. Add a little bit more. That's it. So I'm not really gonna use all of it. See, that's how you do this. Let's show you what this might look like the second after I add my water. You see, you don't want a lot of water in this dish, but you don't want it too thick. You want it on the medium side because some of this water is going to bubble out because this is going to cook now for about a half an hour. I only want this to cook for a half an hour, nothing more, okay? So this is good. We're going to get rid of our bowl like this. Excuse me. Give my hands a quick rinse like that. What we're going to do is we're going to season this dish. Salt. You know that I only know pinches. This is okay. I don't have a tablespoon. I ain't going to put tablespoons in this. I have no idea about that stuff. We go by pinches. So I go 1. That was a generous 2. And 3. Don't tell anybody. I put a little more in there, all right? No big deal. Black pepper. Now, we're going to go 1.5. Okay, 1.5. Crushed red pepper. We're going to do 1. That's it. Now what I'm going to do is we're going to stir this around a little bit. Once these juices come out from this lobster and marry with the San Marzano tomatoes, oh, I got to say, during the summertime, nothing can beat this. Now, what we're going to do here is, my burner is very high. We're going to turn this down just a little bit, okay? Because we want this now to go for about a half an hour. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a lid over it like this for about 15 minutes. And then I'm going to take the lid off and finish it without the lid. Okay, we're going to get going on our second dish now.